literally, this is our second attempt. We started recording. It was like a 30 second. No, like it was a 2 minute worth of conversation, and I realized that we weren't even recording.
Content.
That's my bad. Let's pretend that it didn't happen. Buy a time machine real quick. So, anyways.
But how'd you start it off? How'd you start it off?
I started off with going dun, 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 dun,
okay, here we go,
you
baby.
Suck.
Here we go. It's a
you
big week.
Suck. Yeah.
It's a big week, WrestleMania, and
right.
we'll get to the nitty gritty, baby.
Yes.
Sam, remember my verbiage. And the week leading up to WrestleMania is more exciting to me. And I've been in the locker room where WWE guys are like, oh, I got to do X, Y, and Z leading up to WrestleMania. But it's a fun week. I've been golfing.
Right.
What else have I done? I can't even think off the top of my head.
Well, you guys also do the book reading campaign, the challenge.
Please don't bring that up. It was nerve-wracking for me. Anytime I did that, I see reading challenge, I'm just like, ugh. Just simplest things, the simplest books.
So would you actually have to read a full book to the kids?
Yeah.
Is that what goes on?
Absolutely. You have to read a book and take turns, and we would rehearse in the back with the other superstars, and we would just get a kick out of it.
Now, is this a long book or like a picture book that you can get through really quickly?
Yeah, it's like a picture book. What would we read? Dr. Seuss.
Oh,
because
classic.
I think there's like a Dr. Seuss day. So we would just
Green eggs and ham.
Yeah, we would read simple stuff, you know.
Okay,
and
that's not bad.
And at 33, 34 years old at the time, I'm flubbing up. I'm like, oh no, but it wasn't that bad. It wasn't.
Dude, I'm like that too, because I don't really like read as often. I listen to like Audible, but I remember like last week's episode when you told me to read your your Vanguard Award.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, don't mess this up. Don't stutter, because I haven't read like out loud in a really long time. I think last time I did that was probably like in school.
Yeah.
You know, but
I was under the impression that because you just light up my day every time I'm around. You just have that voice, you know.
Stop it.
So I said, well, I'm gonna pass it on Arnold to read the verbiage.
I get my radio voice on, turn it on.
No, but like we've been doing this podcast. I thought we alternate on the hats.
Oh, this is the first time that we're both wearing hats.
First time we're wearing hats.
It's too late now because I know I have hat hair. And
me too.
So we have to roll with it now.
I just said me too. But what is hat hair?
Oh, it's like when you take off your hat and it looks like your hair's like,
and it's just
like shaped like it's inside of a hat, like it's messed up already.
It's just fudged up, right?
It's fudged up. It's too late to turn back now, dude. We have to like commit to this 2-hat podcast.
2-hat podcast.
Yeah.
Hashtag that sumbitch.
Yeah, and this is cool because this is the episode where we finished the whole month. We're in the month of April now. We started this the first week of March.
Making moves, and you always put this pressure on me, man.
Why?
I talk about it every episode because I want to deliver. Have a good podcast and just have fun. And you're like, no pressure, just two bros, two dudes, and I understand. But as I'm, power walking to the compound.
Oh, please.
The compound.
Our office, our mutual office.
The compound, ladies and gentlemen. But how come you don't got no wrestling shirt on? I got Bret the Hitman Hart, Roots of Fight in the Hall of Fame.
This episode we're talking about Kurt Angle, and I don't have any blue wrestling shirts on, except for my Royal Rumble shirt that's in the laundry. But I wanted to go with a patriotic blue and red theme. So I found the cleanest blue shirt that I have, threw on a red hat in honor of Kurt. You don't appreciate it, but I'm sure
I
Kurt
appreciate it, man.
Appreciates it. I don't know why I just went like that. Like he's not with us.
Hold on, yeah, don't talk to me like that. Of course I appreciate it, man. The theme is there.
Yeah, it's there.
The colors.
Man.
But check this out. One of Kurt Angle's favorite shirts.
Oh yes.
With the brand Headquarters Clothing, the Persistence tee.
That's right.
This is one of his favorite shirts, and it's been featured on.
I've seen it on Headquarters Instagram page. I've seen him wear it during interviews.
Exactly,
man, a lot.
So this is one of his favorite shirts. So
and also, I don't know if it was both Kurt Angle or X-Pac, but for sure X-Pac. X-Pac wore that shirt during a WWE
His favorite
program.
shirt too, X-Pac.
Yeah, I think it was the 24 episode, like leading up to the anniversary of Raw.
Yes.
And he was wearing that as he was carrying his dog around.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a good shirt, man.
It's a money shirt. I love it. So this is one of Angle's favorite shirts, and I love rocking it from Headquarters Clothing. I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah.
And also, when I come here, I'm like always digging in my garage to see what I can wow you with and stuff like that. But it wasn't in my garage. It was in my little office area where I have a lot of my wrestling books and stuff like that.
That's cool, man.
And I said, let me bring this.
Oh,
do you remember seeing this?
Yes,
dude. Do you have this or no?
I don't have it, but I remember when he came out with that. That's when
I am a fan of this still.
So he's holding up Triple H's only book.
Take it.
It's called Making the Game. And I remember when this book came out, Triple H was doing so many things. I thought this is when he was gonna expand out of WWE because he was in Evolution and he was doing a thing with Ric Flair, Batista, and Orton. But at the same time, he did that vampire movie with what's his name? That Blade guy. Anyways, but he did a vampire movie. It was his first movie that he's ever done. And he also came out with this book, and at the time I was like, man, like Triple H is like doing so much. He has a book, he has a movie, and like he's doing well in his like professional wrestling career. But I do remember,
and I'm not much of a reader, but I got that, and I did read a lot of it. I don't know why the pages are sticky like this.
So is it all working out tips, or is it like a little bit of his life story as well?
What was I reading?
Don't worry about eating sandwiches for lunch. Okay, Hunter.
So yeah, I had that cropped.
Wow, man.
Obviously, that was important information for me.
Yeah.
Gas station, 24-hour convenience. I guess how to eat and keep muscle and stay fit. A half a gallon of milk, yogurt. That's not going to cut it.
But this actually seems really helpful, though, because it seems like it's like how to eat right on the road, right? It's talking about gas stations and, it literally says eating on the road right there.
Yeah.
But that's cool, man. I was at Target maybe last year, and I saw a Triple H and Stephanie McMahon workout DVD on the like workout session.
Current, like right now, huh?
Yeah, I think it's like probably 1 year old. But Stephanie had I don't know if it was like a dual Stephanie and Hunter DVD, but they had like a workout DVD out too.
I'm a big fan of on Instagram, their midnight workouts.
Yes, and you know why Triple H does that?
Why?
Because he sees The Rock doing that.
Oh,
and
how do you know? Really?
Still goes on. Yeah, he said it. You would see Dwayne Johnson's Instagram, and he's like talking about working out at 3 a.m. And Hunter's like, "Well, shoot, if he's doing it, I'm gonna do it too." He admitted that's the reason why he does those like workouts because of Dwayne.
Honestly, man, I love seeing Batista versus Hunter this year,
yes.
But hopefully he doesn't retire.
Ooh, Hunter or Batista?
I hope Hunter doesn't retire.
Yeah.
Because I'd love to see him. If he were to fight The Rock next year, that would be cool to see. I would be a huge fan, a fan of Triple H, and seeing him work The Rock would be cool.
Yeah, I think that's going to be his way out. Like, they had the biggest rivalry, man. Their career was like parallel to each other, you know? So, yeah, I think for Triple H, his last match should be with The Rock.
Yeah, Rock and Triple H.
Yeah. I mean, you think about it, The Rock had his first match with Triple H at Survivor Series. He won his first Intercontinental Championship. He beats Triple H for it. And he goes off doing the Nation Domination. Triple H does DX. Like, literally, like, their career, it's like the number 11. It just, like, you know, so parallel to each other.
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, I think this is, for sure, this is Batista's last match. We all know that.
And how old is Batista?
I think he's 50, man.
Yeah, he's
or
in
early
his
50s for sure. But he looks amazing.
Yeah, he looks great. He still stays in shape with doing the fighting.
Yeah, I saw his workout video preparing for WrestleMania in his like jiu-jitsu, I don't know what to call that, dojo or something.
Yeah, whatever it is, he's getting it in.
Yeah, dude.
He's getting it in, and I love that type of training. I still haven't done it yet, but it's on my bucket list of things to accomplish. I've always been a good wrestler.
Oh, yeah.
Amateur wrestling.
Yeah.
But I want to work on my hands, you know?
Yeah.
I can kind of fake it till you make it in professional wrestling, but I've always wanted to work on my hands. And it's just good cardio.
So you can defend yourself against your mom.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Your mom used to punk you, right?
Yes. As a kid, I was a wussy. I was a wussy, and she would put on the boxing gloves, and
It's like, come on, Sonny. Pop, pop,
yeah,
pop.
she would rough me up, and I had enough, so I took it WWF style. And
Yeah.
I gave her like a knee to the stomach, knee to the stomach, and a double axe over the back.
Oh,
Wham!
wow.
And she went down.
She took it like a champ.
She went down. Man. She went down, and I guess that was the minute she realized that I was going to be a WWE superstar. But it's funny you mentioned my mom. I'd be surprised if I see her at WrestleMania because she's going to be there.
It's in her hometown, man.
It's in the hometown, New York, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Titus just invited her to a baseball game. She's a big Yankees fan.
Okay,
So
all
Titus reached out to her and said, I'm in the area for WrestleMania. You want to come to a baseball game? And my mom loves the Yankees. And Titus got it. I always say Titus got it.
Yeah.
So I know he's going to have the hookup. So they're doing that Tuesday. The game's at 6. My mom will be there at 12 p.m. Yeah, she'll be there at 12 p.m.
She'll be ready.
She'll be there locked and loaded with her camera gear. And I'm excited for her. And then who knows, she might be able to go to WrestleMania or any other events with Titus.
Well, that'd be amazing. That's cool.
She's on my payroll.
Yeah, and also
She's on my payroll. Don't just go to the next subject. She's on the damn payroll.
That's true.
She's my personal photographer.
And also, you guys don't know that Freddie's mom is a huge wrestling fan as well.
Yes, and she's a guest that we need to have on.
Yeah,
because
it's gonna happen.
She loves the women's evolution. And
Yeah.
she's got her answers. I said, Mom, when you come on our podcast, you better come prepared.
Yeah.
If I ask you what divas you like, sorry, I'm raising my voice.
No, you have your wrestling promo voice on.
Yeah, but I tell her, if I ask you who your favorite superstars, you say Sasha, you say Charlotte, you say that they're really taking the women's evolution to a different level, a whole new different level. And it wasn't like that 5 years ago. So the times are changing now.
It's cool, man, because I remember when we would like hang out at coffee shops and your mom is there too. She joins in our conversation. You know, we both go deep into wrestling.
And why were we hanging out at coffee shops?
Oh my gosh. So like the first time was just to hang out, but the second time was to start this podcast.
Yeah, well, that too, but also I don't do bars anymore.
Oh,
I haven't done bars
sure,
since August 2017 when I moved to LA full time. So I love tea shops. So
Tea shops. Did I say coffee shop? Tea shop.
Tea shop, coffee. It's all good shit.
Yeah.
Sorry, my language.
No,
I'm
it's
not
all good.
trying to take it to the attitude era, but sometimes I just get excited
Sure.
because this is therapy for me. Every time we
tea shops are exciting.
it's therapy being here with you, man. But yeah,
Likewise,
tea shops
man.
and stuff like that.
Yeah. That's cool, dude. Like, yeah, she's able to keep up, and we're having like a deep conversation about like the women's evolution and everything, and she's great, man.
Yeah.
Such a fun person to talk to. But today's episode we're gonna talk about the Olympic gold medalist himself, Kurt Angle. Man, what a career he's had, huh?
There's a saying that goes, "Never meet your heroes because of, you might be disappointed."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Kurt has always been so kind to me. When he got inducted into the Hall of Fame last year, I had it planned in my head because the Hall of Fame is one of my favorite experiences as a fan and as a talent. So I had it planned in my head. When he comes out on stage for his Hall of Fame, I'm going to stand up on my chair and clap his ass on because I'm just a fan.
Yeah.
Whether... regardless of anything, I'm just a huge, huge fan. And he knows that.
Yeah.
And our relationship didn't start just now. We've had a relationship since like 2005. And is that when he was feuding with HBK, another favorite of mine. And it was funny. I was holding Kurt Angle's medals. He was always... I think they were the legit medals because he was always particular who were holding the medals. So anytime WWE would be in the Northeast area, I'd always find out what was on the show.
Yeah.
And I would I was going right up to the writers or going up to Kurt and say, "Oh, Kurt, I'll hold your medals," and stuff like that, doing whatever it takes because I'm a fan.
Dude, if I was Kurt Angle, I would never bring my medals out. Because, I wouldn't want to travel with that, lose it in like baggage claim or whatever. That's scary.
Yeah,
man.
I'm sure he carried it with him,
Yeah.
I'm sure he carried it with him. So this was the real deal. So he took it very legit.
Yeah.
So anytime, I probably held the medals 3 or 4 times, honestly.
Were they heavy?
No.
But you
But
feel
then
that
the
it's real.
guy- Yeah, you feel that it's real,
Okay.
and you see it in his eyes. You see it in
And
those
he's
blue
worried
eyes.
when someone is holding it.
Yeah,
Okay.
and again, I'm a huge fan of him by the way, everything about him, the way he walks. And I'm saying this because I'm an entertainer myself.
Yeah, sure.
And I study people. I
Yeah.
have my favorites that I study. So the way he walks, the way he talks. One TNA wrestler who's now with NXT now, Robert Strauss.
Okay.
He wrestled as Robbie E on TNA.
All right.
He's a close friend of mine, and he's a guy that can make me laugh like that. And he knew I was a big fan of Kurt Angle, so he would always like mimic how I would act like Kurt Angle. Like Kurt Angle has this slow swag about him in his walk, and like he's a badass.
Oh, yeah,
just
dude.
a badass. Like he walks
legit.
he walks with his knees bent, like because he always looks like he's in wrestling mode.
So he's always in that like wrestling stance, like ready to go
yes.
just in case.
And he's got that thick neck, you know.
Yeah.
So he's the real deal. But he was always a total package with me. Because he could walk the walk and talk the talk. He was entertaining too. At the end of the day, I love wrestling.
Yeah.
But we're in the entertainment business now. So
Yeah.
70s and 80s, you know, we're not, you know, exchanging holds anymore. It's high pace now.
I've heard your Kurt Angle impersonation. It's really good. I think you have to do it, man. Come on.
Really?
Yeah, come on. You have to. I'm putting you on the spot, but I've heard it. It's good.
Well,
And this is not, I don't think this is like wrestling Kurt Angle. I think he does a great impersonation of Kurt Angle as a person. So if you guys don't get it right away, it's because this is how like he really talks.
yeah, and it's not an insult to him too.
No,
but I
of
remember way back in the day, 2005 and 2006, I was already in the business, grinding, and
Yes.
whenever I would be invited, even if I knew the answer to something in wrestling,
Yeah.
I would just still ask anyway and get another opinion.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt.
Yeah, exactly. So I already knew the answer. If you have an amateur wrestling background, it's good to sprinkle it in with the entertainment stuff to bring that believability back.
Yeah.
And I already knew the answer, so I went up to Kurt. He was by ringside, and this is during the day where things are being rehearsed.
Is this when he still had hair? No.
He didn't have hair.
Yeah,
He didn't
okay.
have hair, and I hated the hair. Yeah. Thank God he cut it, right?
Yeah.
But he'd be leaning up against the ring, and I'd go up to Kurt and I'd say, Kurt, if you have an amateur wrestling background, which I do, is it good to incorporate it? And he's like leaning on the ring, and he's like, yeah, absolutely. If you have an amateur wrestling background, definitely incorporate it. It'll set you apart from everyone else. And
Dude, that was good.
Fast forward, moving forward, the later years, when I would give him stuff from Headquarters Clothing, he'd be like, oh, Darren, oh, thank you so much. I love the persistence, T. And I'd be, you know, I would have a hard on, not a hard on in a sexual way. Yeah. I wanted to explain this. I would have a hard on for certain wrestlers, not in a sexual way, but like you're a fan.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
And
Totally
everything he did, the walk, the talk, I was just a huge mark for him.
Yeah.
And I'm not afraid to admit that.
No, you shouldn't.
I hate using wrestling terms. For
No,
some
man,
reason,
if you're watching this, you know all the wrestling terms.
Yeah, I hate using wrestling
Nah.
terms, and like a lot of the guys know that backstage.
I love using wrestling terms, man,
Yeah.
because I only use it with you.
Yeah,
Who else
yeah,
am I gonna talk
yeah.
like that with?
Yeah. I wouldn't be doing this podcast if I didn't love this guy.
Nah,
you know?
appreciate it, man.
He's not only a bro, but you're a pro. You got your facts. You got your facts.
So, you know, when we're talking about Kurt Angle, we can't continue with this without talking about how he started. Obviously, he won the 1996 Olympic gold
With a broken freaking neck.
neck. So he won. You're right there. So he won the heavyweight division. And man, again, exactly just like you said, and how Kurt Angle has said it so many times, this neck injury thing started way before his wrestling career. Oh, Hunter, come on, man. Come on, Trips. Did you know that he actually broke his neck because he took that risk? He knew that he was going to break his neck because I guess the other wrestler was going to do a move, and he kind of tried to stop it with his head because he didn't want to get that point taken away from him. So he knew the risk that he was taking, but like his pride like took over, and he just didn't want the other guy to score that point, so he risked his neck. I don't know how he landed in a way where his neck got hurt, but he knew that was gonna happen, but he did it anyways. So yeah, that's the first neck injury that Kurt's had before even he won the freaking gold medal, man. And
wrestling is one of the toughest sports around, man.
Yeah.
Toughest sports. It's not you against a team. Your teammates might be cheering you on, but it's one-on-one.
Yeah.
And it's survival of the fittest, and you got to have that laser-like focus, which he always has.
Yeah.
Always had those blue eyes.
Well, the 3 I's, right? Intensity, intelligence, and what's the other one? Do you remember? Intensity, intelligence, and...
Intensity, integrity,
intelligence. Yes.
You had me getting thrown off. I was like, oh, damn, what is it? But he would always say the 3 I's: intensity, integrity.
That's right.
And intelligence.
That's right. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe he started Suplex City.
Oh, definitely.
Right?
Definitely.
And that
Absolutely.
he called it the 3 I's.
The 3
right?
I's, yeah.
So he started the triple suplex that Brock's doing.
Brock is just like, he's got one speed and that's go. I don't want to talk about him now.
No, I don't either. You're the best, Brock.
I'm getting anxiety, you know? I'm getting anxiety, but anyway.
So after he won his 1996 Olympic, got the gold medal, WWF or WWE now, I was interested in him and actually offered him a contract. But at the time, yes, he was kind of like smart enough in the business. He knew that it was entertainment, but in an interview, his head wasn't in the right place because this is the conversation he had with Vince.
Okay, are we getting to his first experience in wrestling?
Yeah, kind of like the first talk of like joining.
Because his first experience was with ECW.
Which was under the umbrella of Vince, no?
Yeah, I'm probably sure they were funding.
Yes, right. They were funding
ECW, but like it's been on like interviews and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Maybe they were financing them. Mm-hmm. But his first experience was with ECW. He went to an ECW show and he was seeing all this hardcore wrestling, which was different, you know?
Yeah.
And he did not like it. And it was like he was done with his professional wrestling experience. And I've heard this.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I've heard this.
Okay.
And that was that. And then probably that ties into your story that you're going to. Then he had maybe another experience with WWE. You know what I mean?
I think he rubbed Vince the wrong way because you know what he said to him? He's like, well, Vince, you know, if I join the WWE, you know I can't lose, right? Because I'm Olympic gold medalist. I can never lose.
Was he serious?
He was serious.
Oh my
100% serious. He said it in like one of his interviews that he said that to Vince, and I think Vince definitely got turned off by that. And I think
Vince is an OG. Mm-hmm. My thing is like, did he really get turned off? Maybe Vince is like, oh, this is a challenge that I can conquer. The one thing about Vince McMahon, the most intimidating thing about Vince McMahon is his office door. People are kind of nervous to bother him and stuff like that. And you know who helped me out with that? Titus O'Neil. Mm-hmm. And we'll talk about him on a future episode. I talked to him recently and he said that he would love to do our podcast.
Nice.
So that'll be really cool.
Yeah.
And but Titus was the guy that would just, whether we had stuff planned or not, he would bust down the door and we would talk about primetime player stuff. Yeah. And that's how ultimately we started doing our thing because Vince liked us being together.
Yeah.
You know, that goes into the whole Kurt Angle story. Vince, you know, sees it as a challenge, and look at Kurt now.
Yeah, I mean, you know Vince more than I do, so I don't know how he took that, but I think that's
like I
so
said, Vince
funny,
always
man.
gave me a fair chance, especially when it came to the start of my stuff with Bob Backlund. So, again, that's another episode.
So, yeah, I think first time around, I think it was Kurt Angle that turned down the contract. And then afterwards, he changed his mind, and
I wonder why.
Yeah, me too. But I think he went to JR afterwards, like, listen, do I still have a shot? And JR's like, yes, but we're not going to offer you the same deal as the first offer. And he took it. But even before, like, he took the WWE offer, I don't know if I probably read this in his book or something, but I think it was a really cool moment that he said back when he was in the locker room with a bunch of other guys. World Wrestling Federation was on TV, and Shawn Michaels was in the during his world championship run, and he was doing his striptease dance entrance, and Kurt said like a lot of guys in the locker room was giving him a hard time on that. Oh, look at this, like whatever, like all the negative like terms that they said.
Yes.
And even then, Kurt said that he knew that was just another man paying his bills. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So I think that was cool that he already had that mentality before he officially got into the business.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And also, I seen Kurt at a time when he's been 6 years sober, and like he has his wrestling store, but he also has his outside of the wrestling store where he struggled with painkillers and all that stuff, and all that stuff's intriguing because I would see it backstage and not see it, but I would see him kind of out of it, and I know what's up.
Yeah,
this was at a time where we didn't really have a drug policy. Now he's doing great on TV, but just seeing him backstage really scared me, honestly, because he was just out of it. But when it was showtime, he was ready to go. He was warming up backstage, and he could deliver like no other, man.
You're not the first to say that, because he also said in his shoot that he didn't realize how many painkillers he was taking until like Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin told him about it, because they witnessed him take like a handful of pills every 3 hours.
Oh, goodness.
And Kurt didn't even realize that he was doing that. You know, it was just part of his like, I guess, day-to-day routine. But doesn't he have an app? Like
yes,
now?
Yes.
Is that the story you're talking about? Like how he has like a rehab like app? Like
well,
Angle Strong or something
that's perfect.
Like that?
I wasn't even thinking, but yeah, Angle Strong. He has an app now, and it's
for recovering
addicts and all that stuff. Yeah, right on, bro.
Yeah.
But I would see him backstage, like on the ground, on his butt, like thinking of spots and stuff like that.
Sure.
And at the time, he was chewing the tobacco dip, and that's one thing I used to like love about him. But also before that, on the independents, when I was first starting, a lot of the OGs would have that tobacco dip, and I would try to fit in, you know, and do the tobacco dip. I would be sick as a dog. I never threw up in front of anyone, but I would be like, all right, so what are we gonna do out there, Arnold?
Yeah, I asked you about that. I remember I was like, what do you get out of it? You know, like I know baseball players do it, but you said it kind of gives you like...
It gives you a buzz, but it gives me a freaking headache.
Wow.
But these guys would do it, and he would take it out right before his match. I'm like, how do you perform? Like,
yeah,
I'd be so sick. But back in the day, I did it to fit in, and I would never do that shit again. Disgusting. But yeah, he would have his dip in his mouth, and he'd be talking to Arn, who they had a relationship because Arn loved Kurt because he's a wrestler. He's rugged. So he would help him tell stories, because that's what we do, is tell stories.
That's right, man.
And I would just see Kurt like out of it, and he'd be like, hey Arn, what are we gonna do out there? And
with his eyes closed like that?
Yeah, it was just very scary, you know.
Jeez,
but this is just my experience, and like I said, he's been 6 years clean, and I'm just so happy that he's wrestling his last match. But who the hell is it gonna be? From the last time we've met several times, but the last time we sat down and vibed about wrestling, is it still Baron?
It's still Baron for now, Baron Corbin,
and that's cool.
Yeah, I guess.
That's cool.
I just want it to be a competitive match,
and it can be competitive.
Yeah. I don't know. I just saw it. I envision him.
But I also want to see Thugonomics.
I know,
Bring
man.
Bring it back.
Dr. Thugonomics, man.
And play that music. Play it.
Well, you know, John Cena's involvement in WrestleMania right now is still a mystery.
And that's perfect because the shit's already sold.
Yeah.
Okay, so they don't have to advertise every match. Yeah. You know, so I think it's exciting because he's probably gonna be there. Everything's set perfectly, beautifully with the Divas, the triple threat.
Yes.
I said Divas.
That's a no.
We need a jar. If you say naughty
jar,
the Divas jar, you throw it in. Naughty. But yeah, the women's are headlining.
That's right.
WrestleMania, so that'll be a magical moment. But yeah, Kurt,
Yeah, man. So yeah, I mean, I know like they're both great performers, and even if it does end up with Baron Corbin, I know they're gonna put on a show. But
How about this? Kurt and Baron go at it. They go at it. Kurt Angle turns it over on Baron. Wham! 1, 2, 3, or it makes him tap out. Kurt says, "I'm not done yet." You know.
Yeah.
This isn't how I'm going out. You know?
Yeah.
This isn't how I'm going out, and he don't got to say nothing.
Yeah.
And all you hear is Cena's music play. You know.
Dr. Thugonomics though music.
Or maybe Taker.
Oh my gosh. But I mean, Taker would be amazing, but like that wouldn't.
Rest in peace, Kurt. Wham!
Yo, speaking of Taker, I don't know if you saw this on Instagram.
What,
that
a video
dude,
of him?
No. This dude lost 25 pounds and he just
Off Nutrition Solutions?
Yeah, that's
Is that
crazy.
where we going?
That's real quick. I don't want to give him like a huge plug, you know, but
Hey, baby, we got the time.
Yeah.
Slow and steady wins the race.
That's
but
true.
still, you know, we hook you up, you hook us up.
just throwing it in there.
That's how Titus taught me, you know.
But he looks great, man.
Oh man,
His face
he's
looks
like
chiseled.
wine. He's like wine. He's aging gracefully with time. Chiseled.
Yeah.
And I love the way he looks now. Just put him in a tanning bed, make him nice and toasty. Oh man,
Dye his hair black again.
Yeah, whatever. But I always loved that leanness of him.
Yeah. I remember when he had that 6-pack. Oh my god.
Yes,
He was
yes.
like in the best shape of his career.
Yes, and he trains at this CrossFit gym.
Oh, he does CrossFit?
No, he doesn't do.
I was like, what? Damn.
No, it's like the On It headquarters in Austin,
Okay.
Texas.
Yeah.
On It's like I know Bailey. I think she works out there.
Finn.
Yeah,
I've seen them.
it's an area in Austin, Texas, where they open up the gym to us, and he works out there. He doesn't
Cool,
do CrossFit,
man.
but he does a lot of functional stuff.
Sure.
Functional stuff, which I'm a huge fan of.
It's awesome, man.
So yeah, I'd love to see him. You know, rest Kurt in peace. Right?
Oh my gosh.
Rest in peace.
That's a
Rest
cool way
in
to go
peace,
out too.
Peacefully.
There you go.
Rest in peace, comma, peacefully, Kurt.
Wow.
That's a shirt, huh?
That's the shirt. That's
the
theme.
details.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, peacefully. Kurt.
That's the selling point right there.
So I'd love to see Taker. I'd love to see Cena.
Yeah.
I'd love to see Baron. Mm-hmm. I want to see Baron.
Okay. Well, let's rewind to his early years before we continue the last match that he's gonna have.
Oh, with that hair?
With the hair,
I
he
didn't
looked
like that
great.
hair.
Well,
Hell no.
Okay,
The
so
only time he looked great is when he wrestled Taz.
oh,
You remember?
yeah, Taz's debut,
Taz,
right?
and that was quick, huh?
Yeah, he dropped him real hard.
That was
on
quick,
that.
but he did what he had to do.
But I remember one of his first WWE appearances was, I believe it was Sunday Night Heat against Tiger Singh.
Tiger Ali saying?
Tiger Ali Singh.
Yeah.
It wasn't a match though.
It was a dark match?
No, it wasn't even a match. Angle was in the crowd, and Tiger was doing that bit.
I remember. Yeah,
like
keep going.
making fun of Americans. And he's like, oh, like we have like Kurt Angle being the Olympic hero, U.S. hero that he is, had to stand up, and he couldn't take it anymore. And Angle did his thing with Tiger Ali, and had a huge pop. And I think that night, that reaction was, I think, what Angle had in mind, that people were always gonna react that way to Kurt, because they were 100% behind him. I think it was at his hometown, right?
In Pittsburgh?
I think so.
Probably,
So he
yeah.
got that pop, and unfortunately, it didn't go that way during his first match. Though,
What was his first match, I guess?
I believe it was against Brian Christopher, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, what happened?
I remember he told Vince, because Vince wanted him to wrestle heel, and
He wanted Kurt to wrestle heel?
Yeah, and Kurt was like, "No, I can't. There's no way. They love me. They love me. There's no way." So he wrestled, and the crowd started booing.
Booing Kurt?
Yeah, booing Kurt. And someone, I don't know who it was, but someone went to the referee's ear and he told Kurt to cut a promo in the middle of the match. So in the middle of the match,
And back then, do you remember the tone of his voice? It was very
pretty young.
pretty young.
Yeah,
exactly.
young. So in the middle of the match, the referee told him you have to cut a promo. And he's like, what? But he did it, and the words just flew right out of his mouth because it was genuine.
Yes.
And I think to an extent, it was exactly how he felt inside. Like, how dare you boo an Olympic gold medalist, and all that. And I think that was beautifully done. And Vince saw it from the beginning. He knew how the crowd was going to react to him. It was during the Attitude Era. No one loves a clean patriotic red, white, and blue baby face. So
And times are changing. This was the
yes,
Attitude Era.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that PG was out the window.
Yeah, and Kurt played that role very well. He embraced it, and now he's becoming this annoying athletic hero who thinks he's better than everyone, better than the pro wrestlers that was in WWE. And he went with it, man. And I remember like Kurt's few months, he already got my attention as a kid. You know, like I didn't even know Kurt Angle before like WWE, like the Olympic gold medalist stuff, but he was just so entertaining to watch, constantly.
Oh, you didn't know his background story?
I knew his background story as soon as WWE told it to us, but I never knew, like, I don't follow the Olympics, you know what I mean?
I was about to say then, you ain't a fan then.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, you got your facts.
But yeah, man, like he played his role super well, and I feel like WWE like pushed him really hard, you know?
They pushed him down our throats.
I mean, I think other than D'Lo, he was one of the only ones that was a Euro Continental champion.
Oh, both, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe X-Pac? No, maybe not.
X-Pac never won the IC title.
Oh, Christ.
He should have, though, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Damn.
Absolutely.
But yeah, X-Pac, I would, sorry, sidetrack, but X-Pac, I would like I would go through my, like, you know, I would do my research. I'm like, what other championship belts did X-Pac win? But yeah, he never, like, it's a shame, man. He never won the IC title, and he should have.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think the biggest single title that X-Pac won was the European Championship.
Okay, yeah,
but that's
absolutely.
like prestigious as well, you know?
He definitely put that championship on the map.
Yeah, his matches, and
he's been wrestling since the late 80s. I think he started up Pac. He started with 93. He started with this fed called GW Wrestling.
Jesus.
And then it just went on from him.
He was like, what, 12?
I think he started either 14 or 16. I don't want to...
Yeah.
He was young.
Yeah, man.
Young. And he's being inducted into the Hall of Fame. Again, one of my favorite events to go to.
Yes.
A lot of guys dread going to the Hall of Fame, but I love getting dressed up and sitting there and listening to these speeches because I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And this year's induction is loaded. You have DX. And you know what? A couple months ago, I put out on Twitter, I just did it for shits and giggles.
Okay.
I put out on Twitter, rumor has it, the Nexus are being inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Yes, it needs to happen, man.
Yeah, I put it out there, shits and giggles, and it got a lot of likes and all that other crap, but no one picked up on it. So I thought that was kind of funny. But if the Nexus were to get inducted into the Hall of Fame, it should be in Tampa, which is next year's WrestleMania, because that's where we started, which was FCW in Tampa, Florida. Okay. So that would be a cool place to get inducted.
Oh yeah.
If I was booking stuff.
Yeah, it's true.
That's where we started.
Yeah.
And speaking of Nexus, if Nexus were gay,
I can't believe you, man.
This would be it. A fan made this for me.
So he's holding up a Nexus armband, but instead of the yellow and black color, it's more of a tie-dye rainbow colored. So is that that's a bandana, right?
Well, I used it.
But it can be tied as an armband.
Exactly.
That's really cool, man.
Exactly. So I think another episode I have to put it on, you know?
Yeah. I mean,
it's cool.
The person that gave you that put on a lot of work, because the N is cut out with they use some type of belt. I don't know, material, but
I don't know what the hell.
It looks good, man.
What, you like the end? The end looks like it's
I'm just saying that person worked really hard. It looks close to the real end.
Yes, that's why I love doing signings, and you're familiar because you're a celebrity.
No, it's not.
You're a celebrity.
Anyways.
You're a celebrity, so you've done signings where fans give you stuff.
Yeah.
What's the coolest gift you've gotten from a fan?
Hold on. Give me 1 second. I have to show you.
Hey, brother, we're live.
We're live, pal. Well, you asked me a question. I have to bring it up because I'm super proud of this. I'm putting myself over, man.
Yeah.
All right. So this is the two things that a viewer gave me that I thought was super cool. Someone drew me, bro.
That's good.
So it's my face, and yeah, they look spot on, even with all the moles and everything.
What moles?
You know, I used to have two. No.
Oh, I'm not even paying attention to you, bro. But
but anyways, that was really cool.
I wouldn't even notice that.
And also, so I'm holding up a portrait of myself for you listeners out there. The next one is this artwork that
cool.
a fan made for me. So it's actually my logo, the heart with the AT in the middle. And it says "and cut" because that's what I say at the end of all my videos. And cut. I do that.
Oh, yeah, and you do it here too, right?
That's why I did it out of reflex on the last episode.
Oh, that's
awesome. So those are like two of the coolest things.
This stuff wasn't even planned, you know?
No.
See how we just went into it?
I don't want to put myself over, but
that's
I
cool.
mean, yeah,
that's
man.
cool.
Yeah,
that is cool. But so like maybe another episode when I show off the shoulders and everything.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to show a little skin,
and sometimes you gotta keep it humble, you know, so it's fair for the rest of the world. Keep that covered up.
What do you mean keep it covered up? You know, why hide hard work?
That's true.
What's wrong with you?
That's true.
I have to wear it for an episode.
I mean, if I was ripped as you, I'd probably be butt naked every day. No shame in my game.
But you know what? You know what I've been thinking about doing? I've been thinking about, not as a hobby, but just something to do, going to like a choreography school.
Yeah.
Because you know how to break it down. I be seeing your IG stories. You be breaking it down.
I can groove.
And me and the wife, it goes down in the DM. Me and the wife, I said to Hart, I said, me and you are gonna have a tug of war over this cuteness. So yeah, I mean it's all love.
Yeah, for sure,
it's
man.
All love.
Yeah, my wife always tells me like you should dance more, and you know she always puts me on the spot like, hey, go dance, like dance, everyone look at him dance, and I'm always like, I freeze up like
Bro, I get so shy. For me, I as a kid, my mom was friends with a lot of drag queens, and they dance and they do all the male voguing and stuff like that. And as a kid, I would, frown upon that. But deep down inside, I'd be like, wow, that's cool. That's voguing and just attitude is what it's all about.
Yeah, man.
It's not how you dance, it's just how
confidence.
The confidence.
The way you
and that's
pull
what
it
it's all
off.
about. And that's what my ex would always say. Because I just love choreography. I love dancing.
Yeah.
And so I think eventually, I keep saying that, but again, that's on the bucket list.
Yeah, it'd be fun. I can teach you a few moves.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But it's got to be beginner. One of my friends on social media was like, "Oh, you should do it." I said, "I'm too shy. And then he was like, "Oh, there's some beginner classes." And so I might think about it, But I don't want to be like a robot.
Yeah.
And I'm one of those guys that I just move side to side like Biggie Smalls.
Like
I love it when they call me Big Papa, the showstopper. I just move back and forth.
Yeah,
but just
man.
being able to do a routine, I think it'd be cool.
It'd be fun, and you'll nail it, man. You're a fast learner.
And maybe it can be part of our video.
Yeah.
Because again, you always say, this is just wrestling, but I don't give a damn. I'm going to talk about whatever I want to talk about and things I want to do.
Yeah.
And choreography, that could be an opening for us.
What if we have like a dancing intro every time?
Because we're neighbors, shit.
Oh, yeah, man.
I dance my way over to the compound.
Oh, man. Okay, so I'm going to take a break from putting myself over and talk about the Olympic gold medalist skirt. Okay, but anyways, like, remember when he went to that, his character was quirky in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Like, no one really took him seriously as an athlete. People just thought of this guy who always, like, whines. And they paired him up with Edge and Christian, and they had, like, great chemistry. I love, because Edge and Christian was kind of playing the same characters. They were the comic relief on Raw, Edge and Christian had that surfer, like, totally reeks of awesomeness, dude.
Yeah. And
it fit really well with Kurt Angle, and they have some amazing, like, fun moments. And I also remember when they went their separate ways that Edge had this iconic segment with Kurt.
Did they become tag champs?
No. Angle's first tag team championship was with Chris Benoit.
Okay.
But Edge and Christian were tag champs. But this is the time where they split up, and Angle actually had a match with Edge. And it was a segment where, like, Edge came up to him like, hey, listen, Kurt, I know we have a match tonight, but I was looking through my old pictures, and, we had some great times. We were really close friends at one time. And Kurt's like, yeah, you're right. And I just want to show you some of the pictures. So he showed Kurt, like, some of the pictures, but as the audience would see it, Edge wrote stuff in the back of the picture pointing at him.
I remember
like,
that.
oh, like, I suck. And the next picture says, like, oh, it's true. And it just kept on going on and on about
Perfect.
how, the comedy was spot on. And the last picture that he held up was, what the camera saw was Kurt Angle holding up a piece of paper that says, I have no testicles, and the arrow pointed down. And
wow, that's cool.
the comedy was just perfect, man.
That's cool. I got to remember to maybe trick you with that someday. I mean, April Fools, huh?
Yeah, I'll sell it too, man. I won't even like turn it over. I'll sell that ish. But after that, Kurt went to a transition where, he wanted to be taken seriously, and then he went into that love triangle.
But when did that "You Suck" chant start?
Later on.
Okay.
Like later on.
Right,
because
going.
At this point, like they weren't chanting that yet.
Nah.
But I love the love triangle with Triple H and Steph.
Oh, yes.
Because it happens in almost every relationship. When your girl says like, "Oh, don't worry about him. He's just my close friend." And Kurt played that really well. Like he's Stephanie's best friend. But man to man, him and Triple H knew that. As a guy, when someone's feeling your girl because we know how guys think. So that as a kid, I believed that 100%, and I just thought like, oh man, like Triple H, man, Kurt's trying to step in on your girl,
Yes.
And he played it really well. I love the segments when he would send her flowers in front of Triple H, and he got like really heated. Who sent you that?
Yes.
And again, this was a different time, so like Triple H would make little marks of Kurt being feminine. I couldn't even get that word out.
No, yeah.
So. Triple H would take shots at him, but Kurt finally kissed Stephanie, and like he made his feelings known, and I thought that was really cool. And it went to the angle again, Triple H against Kurt, which I think they had great chemistry together, man.
Yes. Oh, always. Any feud that Hunter's in,
yeah,
I always enjoy. So him feuding with Angle, it was their prime,
Yeah.
I feel like it's Hunter's prime this year.
He's in great shape.
Going at it with Batista. So I'm excited.
And after that, with the angle with Triple H, that led to his angle with The Rock, where he won his first WWE Championship. I don't think it was a singles match, though. I think Taker and Rikishi might have been in the match as well. I think it was probably like a fatal 4-way or something.
Okay.
I believe it was in No Mercy, and Kurt Angle won. And what I love about that is the fact that he celebrated like he won his gold medals.
Yes.
So he got on his knees and started crying again. And I remember JR just like putting that over, like, oh my gosh, like this is pathetic. Look at him, he's crying, And that was so fun. What a fun way to win your WWE championship. But I also remember like at a shoot that he did, saying that Kurt said that he had to lobby for that position, and he felt like at a certain point like WWE wasn't like pushing him the way he thought it should be pushed. Which I didn't really agree with because, he's as great as he is, as great of he's a supernatural. He took the WWE really quickly.
Yes.
But I thought he was getting pushed just like at the right amount. And I just thought I personally thought it was weird that he thought that he deserved more early on at that stage of his career.
Hey, well, he wants to win.
Yeah.
He wants to win.
Yeah, man. But anyways, like, it happened, which is amazing. And that led to the invasion angle, which was a mess.
The WCW invasion?
Yeah, the invasion.
Why was it a mess?
Because of the back and forth of Stone Cold Steve Austin. Like, oh, he's Team WWF. Nope, he's Team WCW.
Yeah.
And it was just... And it's through no fault of their own. A lot of the WCW stars... they were waiting for the contract to run out. So, they wanted to wait it out. They want to sit out like DDP, Sting, Goldberg, Hulk Hogan. They want to like sit that out and just keep getting paid while they're at home. But WWE took all the stars that they could and make that angle because I guess they were rushing it. They wanted to happen. But I just felt WCW versus WWE should have been a way, way bigger storyline than it was, But Kurt Angle made that work. I love his spot on that storyline because he was so entertaining. All the segments he had with Austin.
Sure.
Oh my gosh! Do you remember when Austin had that like guitar?
Yes. And they were going back and forth, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I love that, dude. It's so funny.
The comedy stuff was on point, and yeah, I was a huge fan.
And Austin at that time, man, he's got some comedy chops.
Oh gosh,
he was that. It's weird, but I think that's my favorite version of Austin.
Well, I love Austin because he put me over, and again, you got to put yourself over. I got to put myself over. I love Austin because in the first ever elimination chamber tag team match. I was like, he said, "Oh, that Darren Young was the MVP."
Oh, nice.
He called me the MVP.
Wait, when did he say that?
On his podcast.
So cool, man.
Yeah, on his podcast.
No way.
And I guess a fan picked up on it, and
sweet, dude.
and sent that to me, tagged me in it. So that's my claim to fame.
Hell yeah.
I was the MVP of the first ever elimination tag team.
The
match.
rattlesnake's eyes, man. The greatest to ever do it.
Yeah, because I was taking falls that I had never taken in my life, and I was scared.
Yeah.
So I had to do what I had to do.
You remember, speaking of Austin, just how funny he is. I think my favorite segment was when, again, the invasion angle, when Vince McMahon was giving Austin, Angle, Jericho, Kane, Taker a pep talk, right? Like, we're gonna do this, and Austin repeated everything Vince said. I forgot exactly word for word what Vince said, but Vince let's say it was that he said, "Oh, we have to beat WCW," and Austin would be like, "We have to beat WCW," and then "Do you hear me?" And he goes to the Undertaker, "Did you hear him?" Yeah. And the Undertaker gave him
I remember. Bro.
I love that, man.
I remember all those scenes vividly.
Oh man, that was my favorite version of Austin. It was so good.
Well, he had the Alliance music, right? Didn't his music change?
Yeah, it was a little bit of heavy metal, it had words.
Yeah, I didn't like it, huh?
Yeah,
the old school's better.
Of course, the OG's always better, man. And then finally, Kurt Angle, after the invasion, Angle had his hair versus hair match, which I'm sure you're happy with, against Edge.
Gosh, glad. Anytime someone wants to maybe change their look or change their look in general, and you want to cut your hair, doing it in a hair versus hair match, why not?
Yeah.
It's just a perfect way to go out.
Yeah.
Telling that story. So, I was very happy.
As a kid, I already knew that Angle was gonna lose because you can obviously tell that his hair was hanging on.
Yeah, I hated it.
But yeah, I just thought it was so funny after he shaved his head. He had that wig and the wrestling helmet on. Do you remember that?
Run with it, yes.
That was great.
That was a favorite part of mine too because it just looked so wacky.
Yeah, I love that, man.
And he wrestled with that too for a little bit.
Yes, he did.
Even on pay-per-views, and it just looked legit too.
Yeah, maybe a month or two or something, right, with the wig on.
Yeah, it looked legit, man.
Yeah,
but
totally, man.
Angle, and another reason why I love Kurt is that he always puts his body on the line. We're professional stuntmen out there.
Sure.
So injuries do happen, but he puts his body on the line every night. Every night he's out there, and he wrestles with so much intensity.
Yes.
I think Shawn Michaels might have said in an interview that wrestling Kurt, he had to question his endurance. Man, this guy can go.
Wow, really?
Yeah. So Shawn questioned, man, I got to step my game up. But
that's really cool because I also heard a story of Shawn saying that he saw Kurt nervous or something, or just overthinking about something, and Shawn just went to Kurt and said "Hey Kurt, dude, relax. You're the real deal. You're legit. You got this, and it's true, and I think that was cool of Shawn to say. And after Kurt shaved his head, I felt that was such a huge shift in his career because with that bald-headed look, he looked like a warrior, man.
Exactly. That's why I fell in love with him.
And that's when he turned the intensity up. And this is how talented Kurt is. He can take on the comedy role, or he can take on the role of a threat.
The total package.
And I think, Kurt would, when he's being serious, when he's actually a threat to his opponents, I think that's the real Kurt.
Yes.
Yes. And he had some amazing matches with Eddie Guerrero.
Oh yeah, and they were scrappy, man. They weren't and I love those matches because top of the list for me.
Yeah.
Because it was kind of unorthodox. Some things can look clean in the ring, but sometimes they would kind of go off track, but they would always be back on track. But they were just and I'm explaining this because when I really watch it, they would wrestle amateur wrestling going 80-90%, and I read on live events there were times where they would get aggressive with one another, and fights backstage.
Exactly.
Apparently.
Exactly.
So,
yeah, there's a real heat.
yeah, real Latino heat, right? So again, Eddie Guerrero, a huge favorite of mine. My first skit with WWE was when they were fighting, and I was a detective. I was Detective Rosser, and
Yes.
I was, trying to lure Angle. Who was I trying to lure? I was with the Bastions.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah.
I was trying to lure, Eddie Guerrero away from Chavo. So
Okay.
I was trying to like be a detective for the Basham. So that was a lot of fun. I was nervous for all those all those takes, and
Yeah.
Vince McMahon was like, I don't think we're gonna I'm buying the Guerreros and the Bashams. I don't know about this officer. I was just so nervous.
Oh, no.
I mean, it is what it is. I admit it.
Yeah.
And I got it. The last take was the best take, and but during that time, Eddie Guerrero was calming me down. Was trying to say, just take your time.
Yeah.
Holmes.
Yeah,
He was just so cool about it. Just
man.
take your time, just have fun, and he just made me feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And I got through that, so that's my experience with Eddie Guerrero. But I just love Kurt Angle, the scrappiness between the two.
That's pretty cool that they actually let you use your last name as the detective, though. Detective Rosser. That's cool, man.
Yeah. So.
I also love the pairing of Kurt Angle and the world's greatest tag team, Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin.
Yes.
They look legit with the matching singlets.
Yes.
Because they're playing themselves basically. All three of them are like amateur wrestlers, right? And did Shelton ever compete in the Olympics? No, right?
No, I don't think so. But he had a tough background in amateur wrestling. Charlie Haas too. Charlie Haas came from my area, Seton Hall in New Jersey. So he was the real deal.
Yeah. And I also love his Kurt Angle's storyline with Brock.
Yeah.
And Kurt said this in an interview, like at that time he felt like if there was no Kurt, there was no Brock, because he felt WWE took a chance on Brock just because of how well Kurt did coming from an amateur background. And
I'm listening, sorry.
No, I hear you.
I have to get my
You're what?
I have to sit on my
Oh, okay. But I just love the back and forth that Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar did, because at one point they were legit rivals.
Look, I'm sorry, I have to sit on this.
What is that?
This is like a massage.
All right, he's holding like a blue triangle.
And like it's called the 3-tool. Hold on.
Yeah,
You're just so patient with me.
that's all good, man. That looks so intimidating, though.
Oh, I love it. It saves my life. But you know how like regular massage ball.
Yeah.
This has more trigger point, a point to it. So I love it.
So how do you use that?
I just put it. I have high hamstring tendonitis in my left hamstring.
Okay.
Because I'm just grizzled, baby. I'm just grizzled.
You're seasoned.
So, yeah, I'm seasoned. So when I sit for a long period of time, it kind of hurts in between my hamstring and my butt. So when I put this in between that area, it just the pain goes
Loosens
away.
the knots a little bit.
Exactly, it just goes away.
But
So
it's like it hurts, right?
it doesn't hurt me.
A what?
It doesn't hurt me. I gotta
Okay.
find that spot.
Wow, I literally never seen anything like that in my life.
Yeah, I just got it. Got it off Amazon, baby.
Okay. Amazon is the place to be,
Yeah,
man.
I'm not trying to plug in.
You can find anything on Amazon, dude.
Yeah. See, you're my bro, so you don't judge me.
Never, dude.
I feel better now.
There you go.
Okay, so
You feel more at ease.
can we carry on?
Yes.
My favorite.
Wrestler, of course, man. I was just saying, like, the whole back and forth with Brock Lesnar was really cool, because I remember
Oh gosh.
they had a serious rivalry, but at the same time, after that, they had like a fun rivalry. But remember those contests when they would have like the chugging milk contest,
Yes.
like who could like chug the most, who could finish first, and all that. And I love the backstage segments that Kurt would have with Brock. It showed a side of Brock that I've never seen before, and I
Yeah,
don't think
we
we
don't see
ever see again.
Yeah, we definitely won't see that again. huh?
Never, ever.
Holy moly!
Because I feel like that's
I'm
like
thinking, now that I think about it, I don't think we'll ever see that side
never,
of him.
man, never.
I'm glad we did.
Yeah, because he just seemed more happy.
Who, Brock?
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm scared. See, he always remember.
I know,
I
man.
talked about it.
Yeah.
His hands are clenched.
Yeah.
And like, a pull apart with him and Taker.
Yeah.
I was with him. No. I'm
Switch.
going with Taker, man,
Yeah.
because Taker's. Oh, he's working me, brother. He's working the fight. But, I'm scared of Brock.
Yeah.
I don't care.
And also that match with Brock. Kurt was pushing for that to get there because he was in so much pain already, and he was already using more than he needs to, and he just wanted to get through the match because he wanted to have that another WrestleMania moment in his belt.
And they were at their peak.
Yeah.
So a beautiful story told at WrestleMania 19.
Yeah. And Kurt was still wrestling through the pain through another year, and he made it to WrestleMania 20, where he dropped his world championship to Rey in honoring Eddie Guerrero.
Yes. That was WrestleMania 20? Mm-hmm. Oh, at MSG.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
The main event was Shawn.
Oh, I'm sorry. No. Hold on. WrestleMania 20. Oh no, WrestleMania 20. He lost to Eddie.
He
lost to Eddie because that's when Benoit and Eddie had their championship race at the end of the night.
Yes.
Yeah, he wrestled to, yeah.
The main event was Shawn, Triple H, and Benoit.
That's right.
And that's like a classic too, because I was stealing spots from there.
I was
I was a spot guy.
Yeah.
When I was on Independence, no, I wasn't a spot guy. I grew up 80s where you grab holds and sit in the shit for like, 30 minutes.
You sell it.
Yeah,
Sell that headlock.
Yeah. Again. I always talk shit about I don't talk shit about the business, but you always say the good stuff. You always say the right thing,
But that match with not talking about Kurt, but WrestleMania 20, the main event with Benoit, Hunter, and Shawn. I was so disappointed that Shawn didn't have new gear.
Oh yeah, and that's my favorite part about WrestleMania in general. That's like number one is what kind of gear are you gonna have? And like I've seen it, I've done it, So that's a very important time and favorite part of me, seeing what kind of gear people are gonna have.
Yeah.
WrestleMania's in April. People start gearing up for WrestleMania December, January, because people get booked.
And he just like wrestled with his like OG like red Heartbreak Kid tights. I'm like, come on, man, it's WrestleMania. Yeah. Gotta do a little something extra. But anyways, back to Kurt.
I wonder, was that the first ever triple threat?
Oh. At WrestleMania?
Yeah.
Maybe. I can't recall anymore.
For the title.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah, and I can't recall any triple threat finishing off the night.
See, I can professor out sometimes. I can professor out sometimes when...
You got me.
When my head's right, because, bumping around for so many years, brother, sometimes, the short-term memory goes on you.
Well, you have an excuse. I don't. My short-term memory goes on me, and I haven't taken a bump in my life, so I don't know what my deal is.
Yeah, but never say never. I'm gonna have to bring you to Santino Brothers someday.
I want to, man,
and put you through it.
Yes, I would love that.
Put you do some basic stuff, but we'll have to make a big production out of it.
I don't know if I necessarily want that documented,
bro. We got it, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know how much I'm worth?
I know, man.
#, millions of dollars, baby.
Millions of dollars.
Big production. You got to pay me to do it. You got to show me the money. I ain't doing it.
So, talking about Kurt's WrestleMania, the next one, actually, 21 was it 21? Yes, 21 was my favorite because that's the match against my favorite wrestler of all time, Shawn Michaels. And that's tough because, like, Kurt and Shawn's, like, top 5 for you, too. And I just love the angle that they did, man. Like, come on, the classic times where Kurt would mimic Shawn, like, I'm just a sexy
Oh, yes.
Kurt.
Recently,
sexy
I was,
Kurt.
Because we were going to talk about Kurt, I did some more, not homework, but I went to relive it again.
Yes, yeah.
And that was my favorite. And he was just so sharp with his movement. And he had Sherry.
Yeah, and he was wearing the chaps.
Yes. And he did the entrance, and then he dropped down. The praying thing. And I was so into it. Mm-hmm. Even as an older adult, I would always look at Shawn's lips to see what he was saying. Like, what would he say? And I felt like he would be saying something like, I love you people. I love you people.
Me too.
But most of all, in my heart and soul, I love the Lord Jesus Christ.
Oh,
and then
Jesus,
that's when the
nobody
pyro
said-
goes off. I feel like he said that one time.
Probably.
Yeah, you know?
Probably, you're right.
Does it make sense?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. What else could he
I love
say?
the people over here. I love the people over here too. But most of all, I love the Lord Jesus Christ. And the pyro goes off.
I think you're right, man.
I'm a freaking fan. I'm a
Yeah.
freaking fan.
I think that's what he said.
I think this is the best episode for me that my knowledge is like, boom.
Yeah, you're right. You're
boom.
coming up with stories that I never heard before,
Yeah.
man. You got this.
Yeah,
you
all
got
right.
this.
But yeah, WrestleMania 21, Angle, Shawn, my
Yeah.
favorite. And you're sitting here with a legend, brother. I was part of it.
I know that. I was
However
waiting
you
for you
want
to
to
say
slice
that.
it or dice it, I was part of the experience.
You're
being
part of the
able to-
angle.
Part of the angle being able to hold Kurt Angle's medals and stuff like that. And I remember
Well, what role were you playing?
I was a cop.
Yes.
Holding Kurt Angle's medals with other people. Again, I got my way into that skit. And
And this is when Kurt had like a type of a restraining order on Shawn, right?
Yeah.
Like it was for like Kurt's protection that you were there, right?
Yes. Me and I think one or two other guys.
Mm-hmm.
But I was holding the medal. And Shawn was dressed as the camera guy. So
Remember that, dude.
during rehearsal, we want to make sure stuff is on point. The producers were like, when you would grab Shawn, I made sure I was in there to grab Shawn because he's my favorite.
Yeah.
The producers told me, just hold on to him. Just hold on to him. And then I think Kurt was probably going to blast Shawn as I'm holding him.
Yeah.
And then as we rehearse it, I grab Shawn and I'm holding on to him, and he says, "You're supposed to let go of me." In that raspy voice, right? You're supposed to let
That
go
Texas
of me. And then the
voice.
producers are like, "Oh, Shawn, we told him to hold on." And Shawn, and that's when your hero yelled at you.
Yeah.
I felt like, just take me out.
Yeah.
Just take me out. Like,
I just want to go in my room and cry.
yeah, just take me out, bro.
Yeah.
Like, so I was like devastated. But the producers were like, "Oh, Shawn, we told him to hold on." And then Shawn was like, "Oh, okay, I'm sorry." So I was just still devastated from
Yeah,
that.
because it happened.
Not it happened. That's my hero.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
But again, I was a part of it when we really got it down. There's
Mm-hmm.
footage online, which I'm blessed that it's online.
Yeah.
Of Kurt doing his promo and everything. He was doing the Kurt Angle Invitational. That's why the medals were out there. It wasn't just for anything. It was the Kurt Angle Invitational. That's why I did it so many times. Kurt, can I do it? Kurt, can I do it? Kurt would be like, "Oh, I trust this guy right here."
So cool,
You know,
man.
like, oh.
So freaking cool.
But yeah, that was probably my favorite feud because the intensity was just there. And Kurt said in an interview that leading up to that match, he hadn't even locked up with Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
So he was like, Shawn being a pro and
Yes.
OG.
Yes.
And this is how I talk to guys. Jake Atlas, who I wrestled, one of my top 5 favorite independent matches. I wrestled him, and I didn't really walk through anything with him. I know he's good,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna tell a story, and I'm gonna plan it A through Z, and tell that story beautifully, and not even touch him, not even walk through anything
Yeah.
with him. And he's a nervous wreck because he's new, so I've been there, but I just wanted to talk to him, get to know him,
Yeah.
make him laugh, tell him I'm gonna bring it to you,
Yeah.
so people aren't caught off guard or anything. I tell people I'm gonna bring it to you,
Yeah.
but just like we're working, we're entertaining,
Yes.
we can kiss and hug and make up in the back, but if you and I are having a match, Arnold, like we're like laughing and everything, like I take it seriously. We did that Nutella thing,
Yeah.
I made sure that everything, the intensity's there. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
I'll tell you what happens if you and me have a match. Surprise switch and music out of nowhere. 1, 2, 3. I'm over. At least that's how I see it in my head.
Gut check, baby. Gut check. I'm gonna make you lose your lunch.
I love the gut check.
I'm
by
gonna
the
make
way,
you
man.
lose everything. Your stomach's gonna be touching your back. Don't get me started, honey. Don't get me started.
You're right. I'm gonna tap out.
You're gonna
You know what's
lose
gonna
it.
happen? You'll give me an.
What do you mean tap out?
This is what's gonna happen. Actually, we're gonna lock up, right?
I'll make you tap out with the cross-faced chicken wing that Triple H took from me.
Oh, that's a
Another
whole
episode.
That's a whole podcast right there. But this is what would happen. We lock up. You put me in a wrist lock, and I'll tap out right there.
See,
that's a 5-second match.
See, just 5-second match. That ain't telling no story, man.
Oh, that's gonna get a lot of heat on me.
But again, I would sit down and talk to you. If we were having a story, I would sit down and talk to you and just, again, tell a story.
Yeah,
be conversational to make you comfortable, make me comfortable, and just know that. Again, I always tell in wrestling seminars I do. When you're in the ring, do you not when you're in the ring, but when you make love, are you like this? Or are you?
I remember you said that before the last
exactly. So I'll repeat myself a lot.
It needs to go up and down.
Yeah. So a lot of people, when you're excited, we've all been excited in the ring. You get happy feet. Happy feet. So I'm gonna talk to you, calm you down, and that's why I'm going back to Sean sitting with Kurt and just maybe plan the finish and the false finishes at the end. So Kurt got comfortable around Sean, and then Kurt was like, "Oh, this is why this guy is so freaking good."
And I love this. There's this one interview that I really love because someone asked Kurt, "Who's better, AJ Styles or Shawn Michaels?" His first gut answer was AJ Styles. He said AJ Styles was better because I had better matches with him. But he kind of retracted that, saying, "Well, now that I think about it, I wrestled AJ Styles many, many times. That's why we're so smooth in the ring. I've only wrestled Shawn like twice or whatever amount of time. And the first, like you said, the first match we didn't even talk. So it was, and that was
we didn't even touch.
We didn't even touch. And it was amazing. So he said that if he probably had the same amount of matches with Shawn that he did with AJ,
oh gosh, man,
it would be a tough comparison.
When WWE goes back to Saudi. They're going back to Saudi in September.
It's a long-term deal, man. It's going to happen for a while.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
But I'd love to see, Sean probably wouldn't want to come back, but if you're going to...
I'm there. Yeah, if he comes back, I'm there.
Yeah, like Sean wrestling Saudi against, Kurt,
Yeah.
Do another one.
Yeah.
But he don't want it anymore, huh?
No.
Sean?
Yeah, well, even we both watched the interview where what
did he say?
He's like, he came out of retirement, and Sean goes, "Well, because they made me."
OG's telling it like it is.
He's like, well, because they made me, and then he just said I hope they don't make me do it again. He didn't enjoy that match. He didn't like how it turned out.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
Yeah,
I don't. But they still fought through that. Man.
Yeah,
they probably still had stuff probably lined up, and you have to call an audible.
Too many weird stuff happened. There's this one spot where Triple H was supposed to swing Undertaker into the barricade or something, but they both went the same direction.
Wow,
it was a miscommunication.
And it happens with the best.
Yeah, and also that moonsault that no one caught Sean that caused him to have the bloody nose.
Yes, catch me, please.
Yeah, no.
You put your body on the line. It's just very nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Take care of me.
Yeah.
Take care of me, brother.
It's true. But after the match with Sean, I think Angle he got even more hurt, and that's when he played the SmackDown general manager role for the first time. And I thought that was so cool because he looked like who's that X-Men bald-headed guy that's on a wheelchair? I'm not a big fan of X-Men, but you know who I'm talking about, that character.
Well, you should be a fan of the Marvel Comics because they're looking for a gay superhero.
I'm more of a DC guy.
DC guy?
And that's horrible because they've been making not the best movies, but as a kid I was more Batman, Superman. But
sure, me too.
Kurt played that role where he was kind of in a wheelchair and he wore a suit and he just looked like that X-Men character. I'm gonna, after this podcast, the name will pop up. But I actually watched this live. It was a live show that I went to. I think the main event was JBL against Eddie Guerrero. It was a SmackDown event, and Kurt Angle, at this point, he did this angle where he would always pop out of a box. The wheelchair will pop out of the box, and I think that was such a cool thing to have.
Yes.
He'll be inside this box, and then the box would Angle would elevate up from the box, and he'll be in a wheelchair. That was so cool. And seeing that live was whoa, dude! It was really fun.
But we're talking about Kurt's experience with WWE. His longest career wrestling was with TNA.
I know.
right?
Yeah, he spent 3 years longer in TNA than he did with WWE.
That's
Isn't
crazy.
crazy. That is crazy, man.
He helped maintain TNA and keep them on the map.
Yeah, and he said in an interview when he left with WWE, it wasn't in the best terms because
When he left WWE.
Why? Because I think he was still under a 5-year contract, and he told Vince the schedule and all that, and he told Vince that he wasn't happy, and he said that Vince was mad that he wanted to leave, but when things cooled down, he respected that Vince still gave him that release. Like, okay, fine, like if I see that you're like hurting, so I'm gonna let you go. So he released him, but what Vince didn't know was that he was already talking to TNA, that he was gonna be moving on there. And I watched
Vince had no idea, huh?
Vince had no idea. And what is it? I watched that 24 documentary on WWE Network when Kurt was on his way back to WWE, and he was just talking about his relationship with Vince. And it was a really like father and son relationship through it all, man. He saw Vince as a dad early on in his career. And he said that when he left for WWE and went to TNA, in the back of his mind, he wanted Vince to watch. Because he wanted to prove, like a son would prove to his dad, like, look, Dad, I'm better than you think that I am.
Yes.
And he wanted him to, have his eye on Kurt, and that was always in the back of his mind. That's why when they reunited, and it was caught on camera, like, when he walked into Vince's office and they hugged, it was such a real hug, and it was almost like
when he finally came back.
Yeah.
And I wonder what Vince said. Welcome home or something.
He said, "Get the cameras out of here."
He did?
Yeah, because he wanted to have his own like personal moment with Kurt.
Wow. He said, "Get the cameras out."
Get the cameras out of here," as he was hugging Kurt.
Oh gosh.
And he felt afterwards.
WWE is the revolving door. They always come back. But of course, I'm happy.
Yeah, man. And he after that, he just talked about how it was kind of like a father and son reunion, and he's been like, he just felt like, this weight has been like lifted off of him. And when he was in TNA, he was still bitter at that time, with WWE, because he felt WWE Vince didn't care about him as a person. He was just, he thought.
Did they want him to go to rehab? And he's maybe denied it at the time?
I'm sure, I think that's what happened. But, he said WWE limited him because first they were making him wrestle hurt that he didn't like, taking time away from family that he was getting sick of. But he said there's like a lot of movie deals that... Bless you. Sorry. Wow, that's a good one.
I'm sorry.
When I sneeze, I always sneeze twice in a row. I can't just have like one sneeze. You've seen that. But it's like at least twice. But anyways, it's all good. What was I gonna say? It was he had movie offers that WWE made him turn down, and that's one of the things that he didn't like. And when he went to TNA, Dixie Carter actually helped them in getting movie roles. So he was able to take on more projects, and he said that Dixie said, if you're ever hurt and there's some times where you can't make it TV, that's fine, and you'll still get paid.
Yes.
And he really loved that. And I felt like, like you said, he spent most of his career in TNA, which is crazy to think about. But man, like looking back, like TNA Kurt had an amazing run at TNA.
Oh, absolutely.
I love
Joe.
Jeff Jarrett. AJ Styles.
Both Hardys, right? I'm sure.
I don't know.
I think maybe. Jeff. Yeah, I think Jeff. Him and Jeff Hardy and Kurt Angle went at it.
Okay, and also the Jeff Jarrett. That real like feud with his wife.
Yes.
But I love how Kurt looked in TNA, man. He leaned up.
Oh yeah, his body was up and down like Luther Vandross, man. And if you know Luther Vandross, man, his weight was up and down. But again, I'm a body guy, so I love the looks.
Yeah, but I also enjoyed the 5 o'clock scrub.
Yeah, bring it back, man.
That was dope, dude. He kind of did for a little bit, like on Raw, like 3 weeks ago. He had a 5 o'clock shadow beard, but like he didn't like keep it. Yeah.
I love that grizzle.
But it looked cool because he was like lean and he had that 5 o'clock shadow, and it's kind of like this like James Bond.
That's
like,
what I do, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah,
man. And I remember like as an action figure collector, I remember when TNA started doing a collab with Jack Specific, and they had TNA action figures for the first time. And I was like, great, finally. Like, because now I have old WWF figures that was Jax, and now I can match it. I can have my own like fantasy matches. And they had that version of Kurt Angle when he had the 5 o'clock shadow, and like I bought it. And
oh, it's at the parents' house?
It's at the parents' house.
All this room at the compound. All this room at the compound, and you. When are you going to your parents' house?
I don't know, man. Probably in the next few weeks. I'll bring it.
Yeah.
But I also love the stuff that he did at the Main Event Mafia in TNA, and that was with all the former world champions.
Bobby Roode was in it. I'm a huge fan of Bobby Roode.
I don't think Roode was in it.
Oh, he wasn't?
No, it was Scott Steiner.
Oh, I'm sorry. The
Booker
OGs
T.
were in there, right?
Yeah, Booker T, Nash, and Sting. And it was cool because they all wore suits and they looked like a real legit mafia.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like his TNA run was so long.
Sure.
He did so much.
Sure. But again, we're both fans. My most memorable experiences was working with him.
Yeah.
And also his WWE stuff.
Yeah. And I'm so glad that he came back to WWE. He came home, you know.
And then, I think when he was with TNA a little bit, he did some stuff in Japan, which I enjoyed.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure.
He did some stuff which I followed too.
Yeah.
He had a great. He wrestled Brock out there.
Did he?
Yeah, he wrestled Brock out there. Brock had on red trunks and everything.
Oh my gosh!
So we'd have to, maybe pull that match up.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Also, Yuji Nagata, who's a famous Japanese wrestler. Yuji Nagata and Kurt.
Jeez,
those
man.
are some of my top favorite matches. So Kurt did his thing in Japan too that I followed heavily.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yuji Nagata, who's a favorite Japanese wrestler of mine.
So cool, man. And I remember before he got signed to WWE, before he went back, he was doing a few indie shows and he wrestled Cody a few times. There's one with What Culture Pro Wrestling in the UK, and I think they had 2 matches. I know for sure Kurt went over in one of them, but I don't know if it was like 1-on-1, like Cody and Kurt, but for sure Kurt won one of them.
I've probably said it, and I feel like I've said it in previous podcasts, probably last week's, but I could wrestle Kurt Angle any type of match and then die the next day.
And that's it. Your life's complete.
My life
You're
is
good.
freaking complete.
Yeah.
I don't want to die. No, but if I had the opportunity,
that's the way to go out, man.
Just take care of my family, baby.
Sign my life away. But I'm glad that he's back now in WWE, and it was so funny to see his first match back, right? When he was part of the Shield.
Oh, that was his first match back.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I was thinking about the WrestleMania match. But yeah, his first match back was with the Shield, and I was so excited. So excited. Did you like how he came out in the Shield gear?
He was so happy, man. He was like a little kid at a candy store.
He looked it, bro.
And they actually made an action figure of Kurt Angle in the Shield outfit, smiling.
And I know I've said it in this podcast.
Yeah.
The more different types of gear you have, the more merchandise you have,
man.
which I learned from Chris Jericho. So yeah, it's good to have different trunks and all that other stuff.
And I'm glad that if that was his last WrestleMania, I'm glad that he had a big moment, even though it was technically Ronda Rousey's moment.
Yeah.
Hey,
and I could tell, yeah, they won, and I could tell that Kurt wanted to make sure that Ronda was showcased.
Yeah.
Because Kurt is an OG, and I believe Kurt believes there's room for everyone at the finish line.
Yeah.
And you want to highlight your people that you're partnering with. You don't want to just take over, but
man.
Kurt knows how to perform, and he knows how to tell a story.
That's true, man. And I love that, leading up to this year's WrestleMania, with it being Kurt's last match, this whole farewell tour, it's so cool.
I wish I could be a part of it. I wish I could be in Apollo Crews' spot, or anyone's spot. Chad Gable,
AJ Styles, like they had a lot of back, like
Joe, right?
TNA, like throwback. Joe, man. AJ Styles. Who else? Oh, and tonight, Rey Mysterio.
Oh, those are matches I studied too.
Yeah. So
SummerSlam. Do you remember SummerSlam 2002? They opened up WrestleMania. That's a match we should watch. SummerSlam 2002. Opening match. They were just boom, boom, boom,
Ray
boom, boom,
Angle?
boom, boom. Yeah, Ray and Angle, man. Another classic.
Yeah. So that's happening tonight on Raw.
Ray's healthy. You know,
looks incredible.
he's like wine, like I said before. He's aging gracefully. He's healthy.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see that.
That's gonna be so great, man. But yeah, and then his last match since
Save the best for last, which will probably
WrestleMania.
It'll probably be Cena, right?
I think it's Cena. I mean, like, as of right now, there are rumors that Cena's match at WrestleMania, this might be against Lars Sullivan.
Okay.
That's another rumor that's happening.
Gosh, that
but at
guy's
the same
scary.
time, we're recording this on April 1st, so it might be an April Fool's joke that they're trying to just, like, swerve us with, you know? So, I mean, I don't know. It just makes sense. Like, I'm sure you're right. Maybe the Baron Corbin match will happen, and then we're going to get a surprise match with Cena. Because Baron's got to work at Mania. He's doing something. So,
you know, they got the Battle Royal and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
you never know.
Yeah.
But, like, top to bottom, WrestleMania, the entire experience is very, 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 very fun for me.
Yeah.
All the activities leading up to WrestleMania. I remember we didn't talk about it on last week's podcast, but when I went to WrestleMania 17 in Houston, Texas, I went to the show. I didn't go to Raw the next day, but I was on a buddy pass with my mom, and my flight kept getting bumped, and I was with my uncle, and who hooked it up for me. And I ran into wrestlers. I'm like, oh my God, I'm in heaven. Let my flights be bumped. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. So I ran into like Albert, X-Pac when they were teaming.
Nice.
I just ran into the Hardys.
Both of them?
Both
cool.
of them. And I ran into APA, and I ran into Farouk. And I'm like, oh my God, Farouk. He's going into the bathroom. I followed his ass like a crazy person.
Yeah.
I followed him into the bathroom, 14 years old, and he's taking a piss, and I go up to him, pretend piss.
Yeah, sure. A work piss.
And like I'm like looking at him. The guy's taking a piss. If this were to happen to me now, you know, I take my piss. I wouldn't be nasty to the fan or whatever, but I would take my piss and get out of there.
Yeah.
But Ron was nice, man. I said to Ron, I said, man, Ron, I really enjoyed WrestleMania. I was there last night. And he's looking at me, oh, yeah? And I said, yeah, Ron, I'm going to be a WWE wrestler someday, WWF wrestler.
Yeah.
And he said, well, good luck to you. And then pissed and washed his hands and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but, like, those are fun times, the behind-the-scenes stuff, my experiences overall with WrestleMania that I can be able to share with the world and tell you and laugh about it, and this is fun for me.
You know who was the first wrestler I ever saw in person? It was also in an airport, but I never said hi or anything because he was on the second level.
Oh, really? Well, who?
Same as you, one of the guys you mentioned, Prince Albert.
Prince Albert?
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
I was 17 years old,
Yeah.
about to go to Hawaii, and I was just like in one of the restaurants down the lobby, and like I saw like Prince Albert with his like rolling suitcase, like passing by,
and he's just got a walk about him, right?
He looks just like how he looked on TV. That's why right away I knew it was
Wait,
him.
you
Just
used
not
that
another-
line with me.
That's true. It can happen to more than one person. It wasn't a lie. But yeah, dude, like seeing him, I was like, oh my God, like right off the bat, like I knew it was Prince Albert without even seeing his hairy back, you know?
Yeah.
But that was really cool, man.
Yeah, but you didn't compliment me on...
Oh, I just saw that right now.
You just saw that?
You know why?
We've been sitting here damn near 3 hours.
Because you're going like this to me, and that covers the pin. But he has a block the hate pin on his hat.
Hate, bad hair day. Let me cover that shit up. You see it? You see it, people?
They see it, all right. They see it.
And I got you some too.
What? Oh, snap. Love that, man. Appreciate it, bro.
Are you going to rock it or no? Or are you going to just throw it in the garbage?
I'm going to sell it on eBay because it has your DNA on it.
You know how much it's worth, baby. You know how much it's worth.
I'm actually going to put that on my hat.
Block the hate pin. Both. So you got the equality sign and you got it all written out. So I love subtlety. That's something I learned in my past relationship when it came to fashion.
Yeah.
Subtlety, you know?
Subtlety, man.
I don't like to clash.
Sure.
If I'm going to wear a hat with a logo, the shirt's going to be plain.
Yeah.
If the shirt is having a logo than to have to be plain. So a little subtlety. So.
Well, that's just great fashion sense right there.
Yeah,
man.
it's just personal preference, baby.
Yeah.
Personal preference. So I'm rocking the block tape. These are for you.
Oh, appreciate it, man.
So,
These are new, huh?
Yeah, they're new, brand spanking new. I've got
love
a select amount of them
Okay.
that I'm going to be selling them at RuPaul DragCon that I'm doing in May, and a
that's
couple of other
amazing,
events
dude.
that I got going on. So, how much you think I should sell them for? I mean,
500K at least.
500K. I wish, baby. I wish, but yeah, I'll probably sell them with an autograph. I'm thinking,
man.
I'm like, you want a pen? Pen and autograph? What? $20 or something like that?
No, you should have someone say that for you so you don't look like the bad guy.
Oh, bro, you already know me. You know me. Like, I have other people do that.
I know.
I don't want to be I don't want to be a salesperson.
Yeah.
So anytime I do any kind of function where I have merchandise, I say, "Hey guys, how are you? Join the Block Date movement.
Yeah.
Join it. It's Block Date, spread the word, strength in numbers. So it's not like buy this shirt, buy that shirt, buy
It's
this
all
pen.
about the
Hey guys,
movement.
how are you? They come up to me. Oh, nice to meet you, Fred, Darren. Oh, what do you like to be called? Call me whatever you want, but join the Block Date movement.
Yeah.
And I always say you get this, that, and a shout out on social media.
Yes.
Who doesn't like a free shout out
Right?
on social media from a verified account?
Yeah.
And people, boom,
Yeah, man.
they get locked into it. So that's cool.
But I'm so excited for this Sunday, dude. And I think we're gonna watch WrestleMania together,
We're gonna
right?
watch it together. I got some business to take care of home.
That's right.
So I won't be around, but I'll be here bright and early Sunday morning. And we talked about it. I said once we watch, it's a long ass day.
Yeah.
And we're gonna be here all day. After WrestleMania, we're gonna have to.
We might go straight into the podcast.
Yeah, go right. Exactly. You took the words out of my mouth. OT, baby.
Our emotions are running high.
OT, we're gonna have to go overtime, baby. I'm gonna be like the Ultimate Warrior in here, like Kofi,
Shake
Kofi,
the
boom, boom, boom.
I don't know if you saw this on Instagram, but it was so funny. The New Day did this thing where it was all three of them, and they're training. I guess on Tuesday night it's gonna be his signing, like to make the match official.
Oh, okay.
Right, and they did this little skit where like, okay, Kofi, you gotta practice because they might take this match away before you sign it.
Yeah.
So he's like practicing how to sign his name really fast. So one, boom, got it. Come on, go, boom.
Yes,
It's hilarious. I love their humor.
Yes. So we're gonna be riled up, man. So it's gonna be a long day. So make sure you have refreshments. We might have to go live with the people a little bit on our social media.
Yeah.
Pro and Bro Wrestling. We're gonna be live
Instagram.
in color.
Yes.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited to watch WrestleMania with you at the compound.
It's gonna be great, man. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode and listening to us. Like he said, he did the Bret Hart hand gesture. But like he said, next week's podcast episode is gonna be a WrestleMania episode based on the results and everything like that. And if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys follow us on iTunes and subscribe to us and follow us there. And if you enjoy the podcast, give us a 5-star rating and write a review. Tell us the stuff that you like or you don't like, things we can improve on. And
at the end of the day, we're having fun.
Yeah, man.
We're having fun at the end of the day. This is therapy for me, like I always say. And my favorite five-letter word, it is what it is, baby. Maybe we'll have to do a giveaway.
Yeah, we totally should, man.
A block tape giveaway
That's
and
right.
stuff like that, and like all that other good stuff.
All the goodies. Thank
Follow
you
us,
guys.
baby.
Follow us and all that above. Block the hate.
Salute the great.
There it is.